It always starts the same way. The echo of an announcement crackles over the school intercom, the kind of thing students usually tune out. But that day it was impossible to ignore. Attention students. Tickets for the Spring Gala go on sale next Friday. Don't forget to cast your votes for your Spring Gala king and queen. That ordinary reminder would set everything in motion. What should have been just another high school competition turned into a battlefield of secrets, lies, and betrayals. And for me, it became the moment when the line between friendship and rivalry, kindness and cruelty, blurred until I couldn't tell who was on my side anymore. I remember standing in the crowded hallway, clutching my books, when my best friend Jade nudged me. Her smile was as radiant as always, the kind of smile people noticed. "Your aura is like a golden sunset," she teased. "Warm, radiant, impossible to ignore. Perfect for a future queen." I rolled my eyes. "You sound like a horoscope." "Maybe," she laughed. "But it's true. You're giving hidden luxury vibes. Sophia Richie era minimalist chic. People notice that stuff." Before I could reply, a voice from across the hall cut through the chatter. "There she is. #dream. First mean crown. Sprinkling queen." Liam, the guy everyone whispered about, leaned casually against the lockers, smirking. His eyes flicked toward me like he knew something I didn't. My stomach twisted. The music of daily life filled the background. Squeaks of sneakers, the slam of lockers, the shrill ring of someone's phone. But underneath it all, there was tension. A tension that only grew stronger when Jade whispered, "Peppermint. Get the peppermint." I froze. That was our code phrase. Peppermint meant danger. Peppermint meant someone was watching. And sure enough, I spotted her. Chloe. She stood at the end of the hall, eyes locked on me like I was prey. "Queen," Jade whispered. "You're Ramona Reynolds. Just go talk to him. Don't let her shake you." But I couldn't move. Not then. Not with Chloe's gaze burning into me. Later that afternoon, the conversations shifted. Birthday invites, shopping trips, the usual chaos. My friend Lily bounced beside me, waving her phone. "Progress check on my new invites. Tell me you're hitting the mall with me after school. I need my shopping soulmate." "Can't," I sighed. "Dinner with Dad's new wife. Officially moving in now that her lease is up." "Yikes." Lily grimaced. "Good luck with that." Spanish homework distracted me until Jade leaned over, laughing. "Oh, don't worry. No comprin here. Let me see it." But peace never lasted. Chloe lurked again, too close, too quiet. "Oh, stalker alert. 12 o'clock, Jade muttered. I wanted to scream. Everyone whispered the same narrative, that Chloe was obsessed with me, that she was dangerous. But I knew the truth. Or at least I thought I did. When photos of me changing in the locker room surfaced, somehow they ended up in Chloe's class project folder. The entire school believed she was the one behind it. And when more evidence turned up in her locker, it seemed undeniable. She swore it wasn't true. But who would believe her? The principal summoned us. His office smelled of old paper and authority. "This behavior is inappropriate," Principal Dempsey said, adjusting his glasses. "Expulsion is on the table." "What? Expelled?" Chloe gasped. I should have been relieved. Instead, guilt prickled. My voice wavered. "Principal Dempsey, what Chloe did was unsettling, but she was my best friend once. Maybe we could all learn something about boundaries instead of punishment." The principal studied me, then nodded. "Incredibly considerate of you, Ramona. Chloe, you won't be expelled. But you will not share classes or activities with Ramona again. And you are forbidden to speak to her on school grounds. My decision is final." Chloe's face hardened. For a moment I thought she might cry. But then she whispered, "Talk about psycho," and walked out. Life carried on, but nothing felt normal. Teachers congratulated me on projects, coaches hinted at varsity spots, and whispers about nominations for Spring Gala swirled through the halls. But beneath it, Chloe's shadow lingered. I tried to smile when classmates joked about purging negative vibes. I pretended to celebrate when my teacher pulled me aside. "You're top on my list for the immersive summer program in Spain. One letter of recommendation and it's yours." It should have been perfect. Instead, it felt fragile, like everything could crumble in an instant. And then it did. Because that was the day I met Kay. Robin, Dad's new wife, walked into our living room with a girl my age trailing behind her. "Sweetheart," she said too brightly, "I want you to meet my daughter Kay." Kay smiled politely. I've been living in Spain with my dad. Now that he's working full-time, I'm finishing high school here." I blinked. "You never told me you had a daughter." Robin laughed. "Of course I did. You just don't listen." Everything shifted in that moment. Kay wasn't just some new girl. She was my stepsister. And worse, she had history with me. Later, in the bathroom, she cornered me. Do you recognize me? Summer camp, age 15. You pulled that prank and made it look like I crapped the bed. Don't deny it. I know it was you. Shame flushed my cheeks. I don't blame you for hating me. What I did was awful. I'm sorry. Her eyes narrowed. So that's it? Years of torment and suddenly you're sorry? I am. I'm hoping you can forgive me. Maybe we can move past it. She smiled coldly. Over my dead body. And just like that, my new stepsister became my enemy. But Kay wasn't like Chloe. She didn't sulk in shadows. She shone. In Spanish class, the teacher beamed at her. I read your essays. Very talented. Kay, would you mind translating this for us? Whispers rippled. Who did she think she was? Already aligning herself with teachers, with classmates, with my friends. And yet, when Chloe tried to reach out, when she muttered about bad blood and rumors, Kay said something that made my stomach drop. If there's one thing I've learned, she said softly, it's that kindness can break the cycle of hate. Everyone stared. I clenched my fist, because for the first time I realized something terrifying. If Chloe couldn't destroy me, maybe Kay would. That night, I whispered my mantra. My anger is a signal, not a threat. I choose to respond, not react. I am worthy of peace. But my heart twisted and my reflection sneered back. My anger is fuel. I choose to plot. I am worthy of the crown. And I will not let go until I take it all back. The stage was set. Kay was in the spotlight. Chloe lingered in the shadows. And me? I was caught between them, determined to hold on to everything before it slipped away. What I didn't know then was that secrets buried 3 years earlier were about to rise again. And when they did, no one would walk away untouched. The next morning, whispers filled the hallways like wildfire. Did you hear? Kay nailed her Spanish essay. 100%. She's already on the cheer team too. Robin's daughter doesn't waste time. Everywhere I turned, I heard her name. Kay Whitmore. My stepsister. My rival. I tried to focus on my friends. Jade was practicing her back handsprings, Lily was obsessing over outfits, but even they were distracted. I don't know, Jade muttered. Kay's kind of cool. I stiffened. Cool? She's nice, Lily said softly. And honestly, you've been obsessed lately. Hyper-focused. It's giving chaotic vibes. I wanted to scream. My friends were slipping away one by one and they didn't even notice it. That night, Dad called me into the kitchen. Robin stood beside him, arms folded. Ramona, we need to talk, Dad said. My heart sank. What? Why? Robin said icily. Did Kay's essay end up in your trash bin? I froze. What? I didn't? And what about her allergic reaction after practice? Dad cut in. The coach said you were nearby. My voice shook. You think I'd poison her? No. How do you know she isn't setting me up? Robin crossed her arms tighter. Nevertheless, you are grounded this weekend. No phone. No. No, you can't. But it was final. The walls of my room pressed in as I repeated my twisted mantra. My anger is power. My crown is inevitable. Nothing will stop me. Kay's world, meanwhile, only got brighter. I watched from the sidelines as Bowie Turner, the golden boy of the school, handed her fresh clothes after practice. No rush getting them back, he smiled. She blushed. Everyone saw. And then, as if the universe was laughing at me, the announcement came. Attention Bookside High. Your nominees for Spring Gala King are Stephen Michaels, Bowie Turner, and Kyle Sanders. And your nominees for Spring Gala Queen are Alana Bennett, Ramona Hayes, and last but not least, Kay Whitmore. Applause erupted. Cheers bounced off the walls. My heart stopped. She had taken everything. The birthday party should have been mine. Stephen threw an extravagant bash for his 18th, glittering lights, loud music, and everyone dressed like royalty. But even there, Kay sparkled. Girls whispered about her kindness. Boys lined up to talk to her. I clutched a drink, staring at her across the room. Jade nudged me. Okay, you need to chill. This obsession. She's ruining my life, I snapped. Jade blinked. She's existing. Before I could reply, the lights dimmed. Stephen climbed on stage. Since I'm officially an adult, let's look back on the years past. The slideshow began. Childhood photos. Embarrassing videos. And then, the screen glitched. Suddenly an image flashed. My locker. My handwriting. A folded photo. Gasps filled the room. Whispers tore through the crowd. Is that Ramona's? My throat closed. What did you do? I hissed at Chloe, who stood smirking in the corner. She shrugged. Guess payback's a dish best served public. Before I could react, a bucket tipped over above me. Thick, sticky chocolate poured down, drenching my dress, my hair, my skin. Laughter exploded around me. And through the chaos, Kay's voice cut clear. Stop laughing. That's enough. She rushed forward, grabbing napkins, shielding me with her jacket. The crowd fell silent. I couldn't breathe. Why would she, after everything, help me? Later we stood outside under the cold night sky. Chocolate dried on my skin. Kay's eyes softened. Why did you do that for me? I whispered. She hesitated, then said, because I deserved it once. When we were kids at camp, I was jealous of you. You were better at everything. Everyone liked you. I hated you for it. And when you humiliated me, I let it define me. I swallowed hard. That doesn't explain why you had my back. She looked down, voice trembling. Because my mom and her sister, my aunt, once hated each other. They never made up before my aunt died. I swore I'd never let jealousy turn me into that. Kindness breaks the cycle. It has to. Tears pricked my eyes. For a moment I almost believed her. Almost. But kindness doesn't win crowns. The gala approached like a storm. Dresses were chosen, speeches rehearsed. Whispers of votes spread through the halls. And still I wasn't safe. My teacher called me aside. Ramona, about the Spain program recommendation. I'm torn between you and Kay. My chest tightened. But I've been working for this all year. She's exceptional. So are you. I'll decide after the gala. It was like someone ripped the ground out from under me. That night in my room, I stared at the crown I'd borrowed from Jade's cheer uniform. I placed it on my head and whispered, I am the queen. This is mine. And no one will take it from me. But even as I said it, my phone buzzed. A message from Chloe. Plan C? I stared at the screen, pulse racing. Plan A had failed. Plan B had humiliated me. But Plan C could end everything. The night of the gala, the gym glittered with string lights and shimmering decorations. The entire school gathered, buzzing with excitement. Good evening, everyone, the announcer boomed. Please welcome your nominees for Spring Gala King and Queen. We lined up. Applause thundered. My heart pounded in my chest. And this year's king is? Bowie Turner. The crowd roared. Bowie grinned, stepping onto the stage. And for Queen, oh my, we have a tie. Our Spring Gala queens are Kay Whitmore and Ramona Hayes. Applause shook the walls. Music swelled. Lights blazed. But I couldn't feel any of it. Because at that moment, with the crown glittering inches from my head, I knew what I had to do. The truth. The secret buried for 3 years. The lie that started it all. I stepped forward, hands trembling, microphone cold in my grip. I have something to confess, I said, voice cracking. It's 3 years late, but better late than never. Everyone thought Chloe Benson was a stalker because of what I said. But I lied. I hid the photos and the journal in her locker. I orchestrated the whole thing. She wasn't the stalker. I was insecure. I was jealous. And I ruined her life. The room froze. Whispers exploded. Teachers gasped. Chloe's eyes widened in shock. And I whispered the final blow. If I hadn't spread that rumor, Chloe would be the one getting crowned tonight. So Chloe, will you come up here and accept this crown? The crowd erupted. Cheers. Applause. Gasp. Chloe's hands shook as she walked on stage. Slowly I placed the crown on her head. The lights shimmered. The music swelled. But in my chest something shattered. Because even though the crowd roared with approval, even though Chloe smiled through tears, I realized I had lost everything. And the real storm was only just beginning. The applause was deafening, but it didn't feel like celebration. It felt like judgment. The crown sparkled on Chloe's head as she blinked in shock, trying to process the moment. A week ago she was the school's outcast, branded a stalker, whispered about in hallways. Now the same voices chanted her name. Chloe. Chloe. And me? I stood there under the spotlight, hands trembling, mascara streaked from tears I couldn't hold back. The confession had left me hollow. Across the stage I caught Kay's eyes. She looked stunned but not angry. Almost relieved. The music started again. Couples swayed on the dance floor, cameras flashed, and the DJ announced the king and queen's first dance. But the crowd was restless. They weren't watching Bowie and Chloe. They were watching me. After the gala, the night air was cold against my skin. I slipped outside, trying to breathe, trying to hold myself together. My phone buzzed in my purse, though I shouldn't have had it. Dad had grounded me. But I had hidden a backup. A single text lit the screen. Now everyone knows. You ruined yourself. No name. No number. But I knew who sent it. Chloe. She had gotten what she wanted, the crown, the vindication, the spotlight. But still it wasn't enough. Ramona, a soft voice whispered. I turned. It was Kay. Her dress glittered under the parking lot lights. Are you okay? I laughed bitterly. I just handed my life to Chloe on a silver platter. Do I look okay? She hesitated, then said, it took courage to confess. You could have kept lying. You don't get it. My voice cracked. Everyone wanted me gone. Now they have their excuse. Kay's eyes softened. I don't want you gone. Not anymore. The words hit harder than I expected. But before I could reply, Chloe appeared from the shadows. Touching, she said coldly. Sisterly bonding. But don't think this changes anything. Kay squared her shoulders. She told the truth. That should matter. Chloe smirked. Truth doesn't erase years of lies. She ruined me. And I'll never forgive her. Her eyes flicked to me. You think giving me a crown makes us even? No. This is just the beginning. The next week at school was unbearable. Teachers looked at me with disappointment. Students whispered behind their hands. Some praised me for honesty, but most saw only betrayal. Meanwhile, Chloe basked in her redemption. She wore the crown to class, laughing with people who once avoided her. Teachers called on her more, as though a crown erased years of suspicion. And Kay? She drifted between us like the bridge no one wanted to cross. She helped Chloe with homework. She trained with me in cheer practice. She tried to stitch something broken beyond repair. But the cracks widened. At lunch, Jade leaned across the table. We need to talk. You've been different. Darker. This obsession with the crown, with Chloe, with Kay, it's not healthy. I slammed my tray down. Don't lecture me. You don't understand what I've lost. Her eyes filled with tears. No, I do. You lost us. She stood, walking away with Lily at her side. For the first time, I realized I was alone. Days blurred. Rumors spread. People questioned if Chloe deserved the crown. Others whispered that I had only confessed to manipulate sympathy. The tension came to a head at the pep rally. The gym was packed, banners waving, cheer routines exploding with energy. Chloe was announced as Spring Gala Queen again, paraded in front of everyone. But when I stepped onto the mat for my routine, the chants started. Fraud. Fraud. My knees wobbled. My heart raced. But I kept moving, flipping, spinning, smiling through the humiliation. And then, as I landed the final stunt, someone from the crowd hurled a drink. It splattered across my uniform, dripping sticky soda down my arms. Laughter erupted. I froze. But before I could crumble, Kay stormed forward. She grabbed the mic from the announcer. Enough. Her voice boomed. The crowd fell silent. You don't have to like Ramona. You don't even have to forgive her. But humiliating someone isn't justice. It's cruelty. And if you can't see the difference, then maybe none of you deserve to wear a crown. The gym went still. Kay tossed the mic back and walked to my side. Come on, she whispered. We're leaving. For the first time, I saw her not as my rival, not as my enemy, but as my sister. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the locket my mom had given me years ago, the one I hadn't been able to open since she died. Slowly, with trembling fingers, I pressed at the clasp. It popped open. Inside was a tiny photo of her, smiling, holding me as a baby. And etched into the metal were words so faint I almost missed them. Choose love, not envy. Tears spilled down my face. For years I had clung to jealousy, to anger, to control. And it had destroyed everything. But maybe it wasn't too late to choose differently. The final confrontation came 2 days later. I found Chloe by the bleachers after practice. She sat alone, crown tilted on her head, scrolling through her phone. Chloe, I said softly. She looked up, eyes sharp. What do you want? Haven't you ruined me enough? I shook my head. No, I ruined myself. And I ruined us. But I can't take back what I did. I can only say I'm sorry. Truly sorry. You deserved better. Her jaw clenched. Sorry doesn't erase years of being branded a freak. I know. My voice broke. And I'll never stop regretting it. Silence stretched. For a moment I thought she might scream or throw something or walk away. Instead she whispered, You don't get forgiveness. Not now. Maybe not ever. I nodded. I understand. I turned to leave. But as I walked away, I heard her voice again, softer. But at least now, the world knows the truth. Spring melted into summer. The Spain program accepted Kay. She turned down the spot, saying she'd seen enough of Spain already. My teacher handed the letter to me instead. I almost said no. Almost. But then I remembered my mom's words in the locket. Choose love, not envy. And so I accepted. Not for the crown. Not for validation. But for me. At the airport as I boarded my flight, Kay hugged me tightly. When you come back we start over. Sisters, not rivals. I smiled for the first time in months. Deal. Chloe didn't come to say goodbye. But that was okay. Some wounds take longer to heal. As the plane lifted into the sky, I closed my eyes. For the first time, the weight of the crown didn't matter. What mattered was finally letting go of the hate. And maybe, just maybe, finding a way to love again. Sometimes the crown isn't what defines you. Sometimes, it's what you're willing to give up that shows who you really are. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Kindness doesn't always win the stage. But it always wins the heart.